perhaps one of the most famous quotes by Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he stated, December 7th, 1941, a day that will live in infamy. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was referring to the Pearl Harbor attacks, which catapulted the United States into World War II after being in a neutral position for so long. Our generation actually faced one of these similar dates on a morning that was like any other day. September 11, 2001, George Bush had stated, "The enemies of freedom have committed an act of war against our country." This day I will never forget, and me being in the military, it rings even more true because I've seen so many changes not only in the attitudes towards the U.S. military here at home with the Westboro Baptist Church, which I believe should not have won that Supreme Court ruling, which they did. And also that even being stationed overseas, I had seen such discrimination against U.S. soldiers when we were over there trying to help them in any way possible. So that's what this presentation is going to be about, and how U.S. soldiers are treated overseas through not only discrimination but also positively by some of the locals. So I hope you enjoy. Since September 11, 2001, America's attitude towards its military has seen dramatic changes. Patriotism has been reawakened in one of the most deadliest attacks against America on U.S. soil since the attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941. These attacks were meant to weaken America. However, they had the complete opposite effect. Instead, it brought America together and gave us one reason to show support not only to our country, but the men and women of the armed forces fighting for our freedom. For soldiers stationed overseas, patriotism isn't always there. My having the opportunity to be stationed overseas in Heidelberg, Germany was one of the best experiences I ever had. I was there from January 2006 to May of 2009. I witnessed this animosity, however, towards the United States and towards Americans, and discrimination. Also, not only in Europe, but also in Afghanistan and Turkey. I was even the victim of some of this animosity towards the United States as well. One of the most recent acts of violence against the U.S. military was aimed at a group of airmen getting ready to deploy to Afghanistan. They were leaving from Frankfurt Airport on March 1, 2011, when an ethnic Albanian from Kosovo opened fire on their bus, killing 2 of the airmen and wounding others. Sources had stated that this individual was 21 years old and was a devout Muslim. He was enraged by a video that he had seen on the previous day on YouTube showing U.S. soldiers raiding a house in Afghanistan and raping a woman. Even spouses of military service members face discrimination while stationed overseas. For instance, in 1982, Verberger versus Rossi brought up a point to where spouses or even dependents were being denied employment on post or on base in specifically Europe. They were losing the jobs to local nationals through favoritism, which later caused the family of the service member to go into financial hardship. This is unfortunate because on post you would think that because it's an American base that dependents would have top priority over local nationals. However, in this case, it wasn't the case. In December of 2001, a CRS report for Congress had been done on Middle Eastern attitudes towards the U.S. In this report, it was brought to light that Middle Eastern critics tend to focus on American society projected through the media, specifically on the overuse of alcohol, drug use, breakdown of traditional family values, and promotion of sexual promiscuity. Even the fact that American media too often links the word terrorist with Arab, Muslim, and Palestinian was also brought to light in this report. The presence of Western military forces in the Middle East is also viewed as negative. Even Osama bin Laden listed the U.S. presence of the Arabian Peninsula as his first grievance of his fatwa, or Muslim legal opinion, of February 1998. Middle Eastern population also agreed with him That presence of Western military forces on Saudi soil is seen by some as desecration to the Islamic holy sites of Mecca and Medina. This is the conclusion of my briefing. I hope that you had learned a lot, especially through some of the cases that I had brought up, as well as showing that even though stationed overseas, US soldiers do face animosity even in friendly countries. So, next time you talk to a soldier, the best thing you can do is at least try and talk to them and thank them. So, other than that, this concludes my oral presentation.